On what was a truly historic night at the Stade Renzo Barbera, Italy were knocked out of the World Cup qualification campaign by North Macedonia, who had never gotten so far in a qualification campaign before this. It was a rearguard show for the ages, as the visitors managed to parry all the blows the reigning European champions sent their way. No one thought that a player who used to play in the same ground a few years ago would punish Italy for their inefficacy in front of goal. We need to talk about this monumental collapse in great detail. But before that, there are a few things to discuss. Barcelona are going to be very active in the upcoming transfer window, and it appears that the Blaugrana will also make their move for Kylian Mbappe, who has reportedly been promised to Real Madrid. Can the Catalan giants disrupt Madrid's plans? Musa Diaby has been shining brighter than ever for Bayer Leverkusen, and it appears that the Frenchman is looking to test himself elsewhere, somewhere where he can win a few trophies. So, you know the drill, turn on your notifications and get ready for your daily dose of all things football. Before we get started, we want to share the sponsor of today's video. The OneFootball app is the ultimate football platform and is a must-have for every football fan so that you can follow all of your favourite leagues, teams and players all the time right from your phone. You can be sure to turn on notifications for specific players to be instantly alerted when they score a goal or when they are involved in other breaking news. It is the best and easiest way to stay up to date with everything football. Click the link in the description down below to download the app right now. You won't regret it. Always decisive with Bayer Leverkusen, where he's playing his third season, Musa Diaby feels that it's time to take a new step. The winger has opened the door to a summer move. On the back of 4 appearances, Musa Diaby is slowly settling into the France team. Called up again by Didier Deschamps for the 2 friendly games against Côte d'Ivoire and South Africa, the former PSG man has been rewarded for his good performances with Bayer Leverkusen. Season after season, he continues to improve, becoming one of the key elements for the German club. Author of 16 goals and 9 assists in 35 matches in all comps this season in Germany, Diaby has never known such efficiency, even though the league is not yet over. This will probably be his 3rd and final year with Bayer. Since the winter already, some rumours have surfaced here and there, evoking a departure of the French international, towards England in particular. Aston Villa and especially Newcastle had come to the fore. Recruited in 2019 from PSG against €15 million by Bundesliga giants, the 22-year-old player seems ready to move on to a new stage, as he told the Parisian. "Obviously I'm thinking about it, but not too much yet. I remain focused on the end of the season. For now, that's my only concern." Also followed by Real Madrid, the young winger is also ambitious, aspiring to play in the Champions League, but also to be part of the coaches list for Qatar next November. For this, he will have to make the right choice of club. "Whatever choice I make, I will work hard with the hope of being in this list. At Bayer, in any case, the management has already thought about the eventuality to let go of the winger and hope to receive a very big check." While Real Madrid seem to be the favourites to welcome the Paris Saint-Germain striker next summer, the club from the French capital have been informed that another Spanish team is on the way: Barcelona. The more time passes, the closer the signing of Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid seems. Already after the elimination of Paris Saint-Germain in the round of 16 of the Champions League in Madrid, the Spanish press announced an agreement between the 23-year-old and Los Blancos before the end of last week. And while the 2018 world champ has begun to think about the use of his image alongside the sponsors of the FFF, explaining that he did not share the values carried by certain brands, this new episode had revived the question of his future. Will he stay at PSG, which seems to be open to discussion, or will he go to Real? But according to L'Equipe, a third choice will be possible for the Parisian. Indeed, the French Sports Daily informs us that Barcelona might have informed PSG that they were involved in the race to sign Kylian Mbappe, who will be free of any contract next June. It wouldn't be the first time that the Blaugrana club considered signing the Paris native. Already in 2017, in full swing after a great 2016-17 season in the jersey of AS Monaco, the Blaugrana had ticked his name. The publication adds that Barca are planning a meeting between its coach, Xavi Hernandez, and the Parisian striker to present the sports project to him, an essential criterion for Mbappe, who's never hidden the importance he gives to the functioning of a club. The presence of Ousmane Dembele, who could then extend his contract if he's joined by his friend in the France team, could also play in the decision taken by Mbappe. And if the Blaugrana managed to steal PSG's number 7 from their sworn enemy, it would definitely send reverberations around the football world. From the stars to the stables. On the 11th of July 2021, at Wembley, Donnarumma saved Saka's penalty, Italy beat England and became European champions. On March 24, 2022 in Palermo, former Palermo striker Trajkovski beats Donnarumma in the 92nd minute, signs the victory orders of North Macedonia and condemns Italy, who have failed to qualify for the final phase of the World Cup for the second time in a row. From dream triumph to nightmarish failure in only 256 days. Yet the coach on the bench is the same, Roberto Mancini, who went from tears of joy while hugging his friend Gianluca Vialli to bitterness for a defeat that no one could have expected. After the match, the Italian coach himself admits that this is the biggest disappointment of his career, which came less than 9 months after the best satisfaction, the victory at the European Championship. In the midst of all this, there are 7 games. In September, in the World Qualifiers, the 2 draws with Bulgaria, 1-1, and Switzerland, 0-0, and a victory against Lithuania, 5-0. In October, in the Nations League final, the defeat at the hands of Spain, 2-1, and the victory in the final for 3rd place against Belgium, 2-1. In November, another 2 draws in the World Qualifiers, with Switzerland, 1-1, and Northern Ireland, 0-0. Mancini also speaks of bad luck, referring, without mentioning them, to the penalties missed by Jorginho in the 2 direct clashes with Switzerland in the qualifying round. Now the coach asks for time before talking about his future and still thanks his players, to whom he says he loves more today in the moment of failure than in July at the time of triumph. A historic undertaking that, despite everything, nothing and no one will ever be able to cancel. But the defeat against North Macedonia is bound to hurt. The elimination of Italy had a single merit: to bring us all back to original innocence. Not only the big clubs lose, only Allegri or Inzaghi, Sarri or Gasperini, we all lose. It was an anomaly to have club teams that have not won anything for 12 years, but nothing at all, while Mancini, with the 35 Italians left in Italy, managed to win a European one at the first attempt. Now he too enters the chorus of the afflicted. This won't hurt him too much. Losing helps him grow. It's a law of life. It's a big sigh of relief for the many daily masters, from the armchair critics to keyboard warriors. A lot of people back in Italy never really believed that this Italian team was that good, that it would simply walk into the World Cup, just because they had a historic unbeaten run on their way to becoming European champs. There will be a time to understand what remains of this Italian team that rules Europe, but cannot rule the world. There will be those who will defend Mancini and those who will blame him for having kept the heroes of Wembley too close, without realising in time that it was better to change. For instance, give time to Sandro Tonali instead of someone else in the middle of the field. Details. But it's the details that make the difference. At the European Championship, Federico Chiesa was among the aces. Mancini and Allegri know how useful he would have been against Villarreal and North Macedonia. This too makes a difference. But the reality is that Italy are not the strongest side in Europe, even if they have won the European Championship. But most of us did know this, to be honest. It's just that it could not be said out loud, and probably would have been unfair to say that last year. Italy won the match on penalties. But of course, we can't be too critical of Mancini. He brought Italy out of a dark period, but then he brought them back to where he found them. Alas, it ends even before it begins. There will be no final with Portugal, no Russia 2018, and now no Qatar 2022. Some blame for the defeat also has to be placed on the federation's president. Mancini reportedly wanted more time to prepare for the game, which he never got. But then again, the former Manchester City manager trusted the same men from the European triumph too much. It isn't clear why Scamacca was not used, while the manager insisted on using an aging Ciro Immobile, and the changes were befuddling to say the least. Giorgio Chiellini came on for Gianluca Mancini, and Joao Pedro came on for Berardi. Clearly the manager was thinking about winning in extra time the Italian way. In case of eliminations such as this, only the coach has to pay a price. Mancini is too proud to remain in his post, regardless of how the president sees things. It's tough to be proud of a European title if you've not managed to eliminate Switzerland first and then North Macedonia. There's lots of people to blame for Italy's latest darkest moment.